Welcome.
Oh.
Welcome to Obsessed, where Mika, Tia, and I challenge the thoughts that limit you, where we provide the tools for transformation. Be prepared to be swept away into the raw power of obsession, unlocking secrets and stories behind the insatiable hunger for growth and change. This is more than just a podcast. This is your story. It is a manifesto for those who refuse to settle, who dare to dream, and who are relentless in the pursuit of living a great life. Get obsessed with your life.
I want you to stand up right now and move your body. I want you to move your body and dance around and feel the wind blowing through your hair. I want you to feel the movement of every muscle in your body. And then I want you to realize that you are paralyzed. Or are you unparalyzed? I have had the honor of meeting Brian P. Swift in person. He was one of our keynote speakers at Creative Con 2024. Mika is meeting him now for the first time. He has some amazing stories, powerful stories that will change your life. So you can't make excuses any longer. I want you to get up. I want you to dance. I want you to feel the spirit. I want you to feel the spirit of Brian P. Swift. He is a multi-best-selling author. He is the host on WGJOL, All Things Inspirational. He's a speaker. He has a nonprofit called SOAR, which helps support the and I don't know the exact words. And this is why I love Brian, because he doesn't make fun of me that I don't know the correct words to say, but you support people who are in a wheelchair or, right?
Any kind of disability that wants to get back outdoors.
Getting outdoors is so important. We have Brian P. Swift here. Swifty, will you unparalyze?
Swifty.
Oh, yeah. That's my nickname. Swifty, I want you threw me off, Mika, by asking me about Swifty.
I'm sorry.
The fact is that what excuses are we making? Mika, what excuses are you telling yourself today? I've told myself a lot of excuses today. It's not even funny. But having Brian here, he's not going to let us tell ourselves any excuses about nothing.
Yeah, Brian, I'm so intrigued to hear your story. And I've already got questions just in my mind. But I mean, first I want to ask you, at this point in your life, this very day, what are some of the things that you're obsessed with?
I'm obsessed with thriving, with helping and inspiring and moving people forward that aren't just physically paralyzed. I mean, you could see that. You could see somebody who's physically paralyzed, but there's so many people that are mentally paralyzed. And that is something that we don't intentionally do. Like Julie said, what are some things that are stopping us? Well, it's not even the things we know. It's a lot of things we don't know that are stopping us from moving forward. And I love moving people forward. So, it is all about just growing, developing, inspiring, transforming. Life's too short to just sit on the sidelines. And I just refuse to do it.
I agree. So tell us.
You did not answer my question. What is something you told yourself today that is stopping you from reaching your full potential? If we
me.
You. Yeah, I'm putting you in the hot seat.
On the spot. Okay, I'm in the hot seat. I am as human as everyone listening in, and we all have dreams, aspirations, whatever it could be. It could be, anything, and small habit changes or big habit changes. I think some of the things what is stopping me for some of the things. One of the excuses that I give, that many of us give, is time. Like we go, oh, I don't have enough time. Thankfully, I'm aware of almost all of my flaws. And so I know almost all of my excuses. So one of the things that I could say is it's time. What are you dancing around for, Jules? You're dancing.
But I mean, like, I love how you said you're aware of all of your
I'm
flaws,
aware. Like there's
but
nothing, no one.
it is
Yeah,
self-awareness, like seriously.
yeah.
And
I'm aware.
we think we're aware, but sometimes we don't take action as well.
Right. But awareness is really important. Even if someone takes no action, to be fully aware of where you are and of yourself, it is key. It's almost like knowledge. It's like awareness is powerful even if someone doesn't do anything today. The awareness is like, okay, I know how far I am from the finish line. Tomorrow I may take action, so at least I'm aware.
It's the start.
It's a start. Thank you, Brian. Tell us your start. Tell
Oh,
us your story.
because let's stop talking about me. Let's
We
talk
could
about
talk about me. I mean, I'm an open book. I don't,
it's
but I'm
amazing.
intrigued by Brian.
Yeah,
Well,
we have to hear a story from. Let's talk about like day one of when you became unparalyzed or when the accident, and because that is so powerful.
Sure. And I mean, I'll keep it simple. It was the day after Christmas in 1979. I was 17 years old and was out at a park playing football with my friends. I was athletic, played a lot of sports. So, playing football was nothing new to what I did a million times. And I was just happened to be running with the ball and I got tackled from behind. And the weird thing is, I didn't fall on my head. I didn't fall on my neck. Nobody landed on me funny. I have been hit and, fallen from things that should have caused me injury, but this was a nothing tackle. And I went down to the ground and was laying there and couldn't move. So the bottom line is, ambulance comes and brings me to a hospital and they do, all the things they're doing. I was totally conscious and find out that I had, broke my neck at the C5, C6
Wow.
vertebrae, and at that point it's, what do we do from there? And I'm just a spectator, obviously, it's, I mean, way out of, my ability to even, I'm not thinking ahead. I'm just assuming they'll fix it. They'll do whatever they do and I'll be back up running again. But, as time went on and they got more x-rays and they did more work, it was like, no, that you broke it. This is not, you're not going to walk.
Wow.
And we don't know what function you're going to regain because I was paralyzed from the neck down. So that was just a matter of, they don't know. And this is statistically what will happen to you and what you will be. So that was the start of, my journey from, being 17 and, what you think back, you've got the world by the tail and I graduate in high school and, got all this time in front of me and all these plans at 17 and dreams. And you hit a wall and, you don't even think about the dreams and all that because, you're just looking at surviving. But I for some reason, it wasn't even the surviving. I just assumed that they'd fix it. And, until you start hearing more that you're not going to walk and you're going to have to find a rehab facility and we don't know what's going to come back, what's not going to come back. I mean, they're straight up, blunt with you, which I think they need to be, maybe to prepare you for what's ahead of you. And there's no way they can, because you can't put the words, there are no words to fit, the emotions. And I can't even imagine my parents' feelings at that time, so that's where my journey kind of started. Now from there, I went to a rehab facility after they operated on my neck. They took a piece of bone out of my hip and they fused my neck together where the break was. So that's where my next step came into. And then after the operation and they fused my neck, off to a rehab facility. And again, that was the Shirley Rhine which back then was called Northwestern Rehabilitation. But now obviously the name's changed. One of the top rehabilitation facilities out there.
So you're sitting there, Brian, as a young kid with everything on the horizon for you. You are 17.
Absolutely.
You're ready for college. You want to meet girls. You've got your friends. You're athletic. You're handsome.
Yeah.
You're doing all the things. And then it's all supposedly taken away from you.
Oh, absolutely.
In your mind, probably. But I mean, it would be, I can't imagine. So I can't put myself in your shoes. But in your mind, where do you go? You are told you can't walk. You're told you can't get married. You're told that you can't go to college. You're told that you'll never have children. You're told that you're going to basically be relegated to the corner. And
yeah, back in '79, the statistics were horrible. Mm-hmm. They were, I mean, your ability or chances of doing all the things you said, going to school, having a job, getting married, living any type of normal life. Back in 1979, you know, they were a Stephen King movie at best. And where do you go?
So you're told you can't have kids. You have 3 kids. You're told that you'll never get married or have a relationship. You've been married how many years?
34.
34 years. You told you probably would never go to school. You have a Juris Doctorate. You're an attorney. You told that you're going to be unproductive in your life.
The statistics for doing all those things were like under 10%. It was like, so, you know, I mean, obviously they don't know the future, but you are a statistic. And the statistic for where I broke my neck and the amount of people that led any type of decent life were, you know, under 15% for some things, you know, driving, going to college. Now, don't forget, this was all before technology. This is 1979. There were no cell phones. There were no computers. There was nothing. So where do you're Julie, to answer your question, where do you go? You know, my mantra, faith, family, and friends. I mean, that is what I live by. You go to your faith, you go to your family, and you go to your friends. And if you can rest on those 3 things, I think people can figure out how to take the next step and move forward. Not that those things were going to get me back up walking or whatnot, but I come from a very strong faith-driven family, my mom in particular, and a very driven father that doesn't accept the statistics or what's going to be out there. And that's where I went to. I went to my faith. I went to my family. And as my mom says, you know, things happen for a reason. Most of the time we don't know why. Just keep the faith that there's a reason, a good reason this happened. We'll probably never know what it is, but just keep moving forward. So.
Okay, so keep moving forward. And in today's culture, in my mind, and I'm raising 4 boys, you're raising 3 kids. Your kids are a little bit older than mine, but you have seen the culture, the trophy culture, where every child gets a trophy. Everyone feels they're entitled to be a winner. And let me ask you this question. If that was your father's way of navigating and parenting, would you be in the same place you are today? And I want to hear that story.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, there was no entitlement culture that we came from. I mean, we were very blue collar. You earned everything. And the expectations for myself were that, like, I had to deal with this. But I wasn't in it alone. I mean, I had my faith and I had my family. Where does this all turn around? In 1 2-minute conversation. And this is the way it went. So I was up at the rehab, and it was probably the middle of January, and my father came up to see me. I'm sitting at a table. I know that I'm probably not in great spirits, which is rare for me because I'm turning 18 at the end of the month, and spending your 18th birthday in a rehab facility, not being able to feed yourself and move your arms or push your chair, and to, you know, knowing that you have to rely on people to do all these things for you is not where you want to be at 18.
Right.
So my dad came up, sat down at the table, and I'm guessing I was not in the best of spirits. So he stood up from the table and walked over where he hung his coat up, came back, put his coat on, and stood at the side of the table. And he says, if I come up here again and you are not smiling, you are not in good spirits, I will leave. I will not come and visit if you are not happy, if you are not smiling. He goes, it is your responsibility to keep this family together. He goes, as you go, this family will go. If you're smiling, the family will be fine. If you're moving forward, the family will be fine. It is up to you to keep this family together. Took off his coat, sat down, had lunch. That was it. That was it. That's when I realized it really wasn't about me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bigger purpose. And I don't know what that was, but I knew that, like, I can't let my family down. Like, this is crushing enough. I can control certain things, very few things at that time. And I am not going to be the reason that this family has to live through hell or breaks up or whatever. And it just was a bigger purpose. And I even knew then it went beyond my family. There was a reason it went beyond my family. I had no idea. But that 2-minute conversation, that conversation, without it, I would not be where I'm at.
2 minutes and you stop feeling sorry for yourself. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have felt sorry for yourself. Has it held you back? Okay, so you're a young, vibrant young man, ready for the world. You're handsome, you're athletic, you're doing all the things. And then everything you dreamed of comes crashing down in one split second. You can't, and I say this lightly, you can't walk, you're paralyzed neck down, you become the quad father, if you will. Do you ever feel sorry for yourself? Ever? I mean, you must sometimes, no?
Rarely. And I vowed to never let it get in the way of pursuing the things I wanted in life. And it didn't. I left the rehab on a Friday. I started junior college on a Monday. I mean,
wheelchair? You went in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there was no, there was no stopping me. And I could barely push my wheelchair at this time. And, one of my dad's thing is, no, he's not getting an electric wheelchair, because that's what they wanted everybody to have. It's like, no, he'll push himself out of here. And if he doesn't walk out of here. Well, it was just putting things in perspective. You start to move your hand, your wrists a little bit, you start to move your arms, and I still can't move my fingers, but you start to figure things out, and you figure out one problem and learn how to push the chair, and then you figure out another thing, and it's just about moving forward. And I've been blessed to do that. So 2 years later, I graduate from junior college, get my associates, and I go to a 4-year university. And 2 years later, I finish up there. In the meantime, I'm therapy every day, going out, going to the clubs.
Going to the clubs? Excuse me, sir.
Dating, playing wheelchair sports. I love competition. So I got into wheelchair sports and just moving forward, learn to drive again. So you just, and this doesn't revolve around money. This is not about a lack of resources. Mm-hmm. You heard me talk about that. It's about not having the resourcefulness, and people get paralyzed and stop moving forward because they lack resourcefulness. It's not about having all the resources. We didn't have money. We didn't have technology. Back then, there was no computers. There was not near the medical care that they did now. But it was my will and desire, and my faith and my family that helped me move forward.
Okay, so people are just intrigued that you are the big club, you're clubbing and having fun, but that tells me there's something wired in your brain that takes you back to you are no different than him or her, and that you can't make excuses in terms of, okay, so, all right, I got one little hiccup. I had something traumatic happen to me, and I don't ever want to diminish that. But knowing you, your spirit, it's like you exude a confidence, a je ne sais quoi, an amazing vantage point that I don't have, because maybe I haven't been through similar trauma or tragedy. I don't wish to be there, but I wish to be where you're at mentally now and being unparalyzed. And so many people are right now making excuses. I can't go for that job. I can't quit that job because I have life insurance or I have health insurance. I can't do it. I'm going to stay here and be miserable for the rest of my life. Or I can't break up with my girlfriend or boyfriend because I'm not good enough for anybody else. And we tell ourselves these stories. How do you unravel that narrative, number one? And I also want to know, I don't know if I'd want to be your child, because I think you'd be like, oh, there's no crying in baseball, kids. You are.
No,
Yeah.
I come from, suck it up Sally generation.
Suck it up.
I mean, you're not bleeding, you're not hurt. It's just a different mindset.
You're not bleeding, you're not hurt. Come on, guys.
I come up from a different mindset, and I coached athletics for a lot of years. I coached, one of my dreams was to coach sports, and I've been blessed to do all the things I've been able to do. But so how do you unravel it? One, just the same way you eat an elephant, one bite at a time, because a lot of it will never make sense. And probably the biggest struggle is how do you feel like a capable man when you're sitting down and I can't throw a ball and I can't catch a ball, at least at first, and I can't get up and build that deck for your family, and I can't lift those heavy boxes for your mom. That was probably my biggest struggle, is not being able to help my family and do the things I should have as a man.
You probably help them in different ways, though, that maybe aren't more physical on the physical plane. They're more on a different, like, supportive plane, a mental game plane, pushing them harder in different ways. And I think that's so incredible. What is the one piece of advice the quad father would give someone who is sitting there feeling sorry for themselves, feeling like they can't do the thing that they're supposed to be doing today? Like, give us that no nonsense advice that you're so good at dispensing.
Well, the belief, having confidence in a belief is an end result of action. So, if you are stuck, you have to take action. It's not just like I sat there and believed I was confident and believed it was taking action. I mean, thoughts and dreams and goals are nothing without action. They're empty. It's like getting that book and never opening it. It's sitting on the desk. So I would say take action. Find yourself, find somebody, and start to surround yourself with the people that motivate you and drive you. But don't wait for that. Be the person that you want other people to be around. I wanted to be that guy people wanted to be around, even though I was in a wheelchair, because I had something to offer them, which was, for me, probably I was very lighthearted. I was easy to talk to. I got educated, and you don't have to go to college to get educated. But I acquired a lot of wisdom. And I wanted to be that person people did want to be around, for whatever reason that was.
No, and I think that's what attracts you, because you're a magnet, and the fact that you do have that confidence. And I was just having this conversation with somebody today about the difference between being confident and beautiful. So many people put so much emphasis on this, on the exterior, but what is it really? It's the interior. When you walk into a room, if you have that inner confidence, if you have that feeling that you understand who you are and what you're going to do and how you're going to change the world, people are drawn to, as opposed to like being a like a beauty or really handsome, when you command a room in a really authentic way.
I learned I didn't have to be macho and standing there with, with my tight shirt on and whatever to
wait, what? Huh?
Well, I mean, I didn't have to be that guy that was bulging out of his shirt, perfect hair. I mean, I was sitting in a wheelchair. I with a lot of my body that didn't work, that nobody knows about. It's not like your legs stop, your bladder stops, your bowel stops. There's a lot of things, but I had to learn that, like, there's more that defines you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you work on that, as you said, Julie, we're so caught up in being brainwashed by what defines us. What brand of car you're driving. Do you have the right purse? Is it a Louis Vuitton? Is it all these things that define people? They get so caught up in. I didn't get caught up in that. I got caught up in just being who I was, and tomorrow being better than the guy the day before, and the next day being better than the guy before. And as we talked, Meek, as you brought up, working on myself, not just for me, but for the people around me. How do you acquire a network of people? Well, be that person that people want to be around. Be that person that offers the help. Now, I can't physically do the things I love to do for people, but I'm blessed that they come around because they get the truth. They get the wisdom, not just information. We're in information overload, but they get my sincerity, they get my honesty, they get my wisdom, not just information. And they know that I'm 100% real. So they get a lot of things that are hard to get today from other people. So that's what I worked on every day. I mean, as well as physically working out, getting stronger, getting physically stronger, getting mentally stronger, doing more for myself, because everything you do just takes longer, takes more effort. So I still do that. I mean, before I came here, I went for a 4-mile ride in my wheelchair. I wanted to get that in, so I got my 4-mile ride out, came in, got ready, and for this opportunity.
So you literally went for a 4-mile ride. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so incredible. There is nothing Brian Swift can't do. But you need to check out Brian Swift's radio show, All Things Inspirational. I know you can listen to it on the internet. I'll put all the links in the show notes. Brian, tell everybody what you're working on right now, how they can reach out to you, and what is the next chapter for the Quad Father.
Well, I've one of the things it always thought was interesting was being funny. I can be very humorous and sarcastic, which are two beautiful traits that women do like, despite the fact they say they don't. They do.
What?
Yes, you do. You love my sarcasm because I, will say some of those things that whatever. So I had an opportunity to do comedy on stage, and I a month ago did my second comedy routine, and it was an amazing opportunity. It went very well, and I want to pursue doing more comedy. I would like to write a book. Julie, you and I have talked about it. Because when you think of paralyzed, you think of physical, but it's not the physical limitations that hold people back. It is being mentally paralyzed. So I started that book, and I just got done with, and I'm doing another one. I did 100-day or 100-hour fast, which was awesome. I felt fantastic, and I like challenging myself that way. So I'm practicing comedy. I'm working on a book. I have a couple people I coach. I never get a lot of people that I coach because between speaking, writing, and I run a nonprofit, a 501c3 nonprofit called Swift Outdoor Accessible Recreation, SOAR. We help people get back outdoors who have disabilities. So getting them in an outdoor wheelchair, getting them a therapeutic trike, getting them a hand cycle, getting them whatever they need to get back outdoors, because I believe outdoors is a great place to heal. If you've ever heard of grounding, check it out. It's a great way to get back into nature and just find a place of comfort and heal. So I have all those things. Where can they find me? BrianPSwift.com. I am on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm easy to be found. Check out my author page. Just go to Amazon, type in my name, Brian Swift, and you'll find I've been blessed to have been part of an amazing book that Julie put together called Creative Con, which is an international bestseller. And thanks to Julie and others involved, I know it was a whole collaboration, Julie, that you started that ball rolling, and I was blessed to have a chapter in. And it's a wealth of information from so many great minds and creatives. It's an amazing book. I got numerous copies because, one, I believe it's something that will help people become unstuck and unparalyzed, because you have so many great creatives in there that are doing things that at one point they didn't do or question. So yeah, reach out to me. I would love to help in any way I can.
That's amazing, Brian. And I know Mika and I are so grateful for you. We're feeling a little loose. We're feeling a little unstuck. And guys, reach out to Brian P. Swift. Check him out. And I will put his links in the show notes. He's an amazing, inspiring human being. He's the real deal. And if you want a good laugh, that will have to be for after hours. Love you guys. Get obsessed.
Welcome to Obsessed, where Mika, Tia, and I challenge the thoughts that limit you, where we provide the tools for transformation. Be prepared to be swept away into the raw power of obsession, unlocking secrets and stories behind the insatiable hunger for growth and change. This is more than just a podcast. This is your story. It is a manifesto for those who refuse to settle, who dare to dream, and who are relentless in the pursuit of living a great life. Get obsessed with your life.